Now, Gambians in the diaspora will vote in national elections for the first time in the country's history when polls open for presidential, legislative and local government elections. In May, the Independent Electoral Commission (IEC) announced it has included diaspora participation because electoral reforms included giving all a chance to vote. But how significant has this announcement? Mariama Cham has been finding out.
In 2015, there were nearly 90,000 Gambians abroad, according to the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. In 2016, this group of Gambians who could not vote helped influence the elections by sending more than $100,000 to the opposition coalition which ousted a 22-year dictatorship that entrenched their exclusion. While not every single one of them is likely to cast their ballot in 2021, a significant number of them are politically active and are likely to take part in the vote. But can they make a difference? Pasamba Jau, a prominent activist based in the United States, thinks so.
Part of the diaspora voting capacity. Because you're talking about a voting bloc that is over 150,000, which is more than half of what Adam Barrow was able to secure, my math is right, to get the presidency. So, and you're talking about a voting bloc that only is politically active, but one that is financially viable.
While diaspora Gambians to vote was guaranteed in the country's constitution of the 1997, a dictatorship that showed them as rebellious pushed most of them out and disregarded their constitutional rights. Now, after financially helping end that dictatorship, diaspora Gambians are optimistic that their long-held wishes of directly participating in national elections will be achieved.
But the IEC has finally decided to, at least, has made a declaration of intent that we, the diasporans, will finally participate in elections.
The Gambia's election body, the IEC, wants to be seen to be doing things right after overseeing elections that ended what some call the worst dictatorship you have ever heard of. Its public relations officer, Joseph Collis, said it was important to implement the laws that provided for diaspora voting.
That the IEC has been trying to do these things because they're part of the laws, but to no avail. But this electoral cycle, we have sort of decided to put it in so that at least our people in the diaspora can also exercise the franchise, because we know they contribute a lot, to this country, especially the economic growth of the country, even in the political arena. So that's why we deem it necessary to make sure that at least we comply with the provisions of the law, to make sure that at least they are catered for. Yeah.
While Colley is optimistic this could work, he is aware of possible challenges in voter registration and voting by some members of the diaspora. There are problems of lack of documentation among them.
Because not just saying that you are Gambian will let you. You have to prove that you are Gambian. And like in certain countries, like if for instance, if you take their nationality, you forfeit your own nationality. I know in certain countries you have dual citizenship, but I think Finland, up to some few years ago, if you become a Finnish national, you forfeit. These are some of the things that we look at. There are challenges with this, but we have counterparts that we're working with, so that at least we have the statistics that will inform us as to which country to go.
The 2021 elections will be crucial, according to Malik Jones, an election night analyst. He said it was important that political parties have representatives in every selected country for the purpose of transparency.
So whether each of these parties, the political parties that are going to take part in the elections, will have their representatives there to be able to monitor and to be able to shall I say, give their okay to the results, vouch that these results are authentic. Now, you must have independent people as well who will also oversee. So it's going to be a costly affair, but I believe that the IEC is a very unique organization here, and I trust that they will be able to run these elections, which will look at the diaspora in a very fair and transparent way.
Malik Jones said the reality of the diaspora voting process depends on the readiness of the Electoral Commission and the government.
2021 is going to be crucial. We still have a pending by-election in Yamina. We still have a referendum for the new constitution, plus the presidential election, National Assembly elections, mayoral elections. These are all very costly. So for me, voting in the diaspora, this is going to be a pilot project, and it is going to be a test for the IEC to see whether it is sustainable or not.
The Gambia is transitioning to proper ballot in the next cycle of elections, having used the decades-old marbles and drums. Should a new constitution be adopted before the 2021 polls, the country will also, for the first time, adopt a second ballot system where candidates fail to win more than 50% of the votes face off in a second round. The West African country had since independence in 1965 used the first-past-the-post system of voting, where a simple majority decides the outcome of the elections. For iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham.